us and you'll enable us to hear what you have to say to us today. I come against deafness and blindness. I come against the spirit of distraction. I come against satanic maneuvering. I come against spirit of error. I come against the spirit that twists the word. I pray the word of Jehovah will come forth with clarity, with precision, and with the anointing of the Holy Ghost. I pray both the viewers and those of us who are here this evening shall be immensely blessed and transformed. In Yeshua's powerful name we pray. Hallelujah. Now this evening I want to share something briefly with you. And it's something I sense that the Most High is speaking to me about. And if you will take a hold of the message, and for the young ones in our midst, this message will equally bless you and it will guide you into your divine destiny. I'm speaking this evening on Kingdom Association. Kingdom Association. Kingdom Association. Kingdom Association. Kingdom Association. Hallelujah. Paul writing in Corinthians said, evil communication does what? Corrupts good manners. How true is it?
Affecting those who have pure hearts, pure minds, whose minds are pure, or if they find out God in every communication of
So you can affect good manners. Somebody who is brought up with good morals, manners, and then gets a hold of association. But how come good morals doesn't change? Can good morals also vice versa transform evil communication? Good people.
We don't allow the bad person to influence or influence the bad person.
So there's a possibility that the good can influence the bad. But it takes more work for the good to influence the bad and lesser work for the bad. You can just drop a drop of a poison. You don't have to pour a whole of poison into pure water, just a drop. Even food poison is just to put a drop, and then just a bit of evil has a way of spreading to alter, impact good negatively. And this is so powerful. As we look at evil communication and kingdom association, many of us don't take cognizance of our association, even as our children. There are children right now who they can watch anything on TV and their parents have no issue with it. Sing any song, dance any music, wear any clothing. Their parents have no issue. It's more or less a freelance family. Now think of those children coming to live in your home for holiday. Your home has laws, rules, regulation, expectation, time to sleep, what to eat. Your children obey you. And then these ones are coming from a home where when mommy and daddy talk, they talk back. There's no regulation. Do you think who will influence who? The uncultured children, who will influence who the more? Now let's just leave that answer to let's leave the answer out there. The key is that good has not been taught to be proactive. The issue that good is more silent, evil is more active. It's not as if the good can influence the bad or transform the bad, but goodness in people more often is not taught to be active. So goodness is more intrinsic, it's my nature. We are good, but good has not been taught to be proactive. Good has not been taught how to fight. Good is not taught how to penetrate. Good is just good. Good children, and that's what most of us do. We raise good children. Our children are good. They don't fight, and so when they go to bad environment, we've not taught them that this good is to charge into darkness. Use your good to change. As you go out there, you meet other children who are uncultured. Use your own good to be active in goodness. But you know what we do? We allow our goodness stay intrinsic. It's in us. So when our goodness is not taught to challenge the evil system. So good people many times are not taught to challenge bad systems. Are we together? So what I'm saying is so powerful this evening. Do you know that if you are a person who has been raised good, you want to serve Jehovah, you want to please him, and you begin to associate with a person who is lukewarm, drowsy, lethargic, unprincipled, impulsive, that part of them which is active will become a deposit in your own spirit. Most of us are carrying baggage. The baggage you are carrying was dumped on you by people who you were associating yourself with, but you were not active in the association. You are the passive one. Why? Every relationship has the dominant influence. Every relationship, Saint, hear me so well. Every relationship has dominant influence. It has dominant influence. So you and I should make up our mind that we will be the active person in a relationship or in any relationship we step into. Because why? We are kingdom people. We are kingdom people. So kingdom people should have an active culture when it comes to their goodness or their virtue or who they are in your vast kingdom. For example, you're in your class and you have one boy in your class who is always fighting everybody, always making noise. And the boy steals his daddy's money to come to school and spend. Do you know that boy has a way of influencing more people? Because his uncultured ways more expressional. Why good people sit down, hold their books and sit on their desk, and we just know that, oh, this is a quiet boy, so quiet. Obi is quiet. Obi does not fight, and that all of those kind of lifestyle is not active. It's not penetrative. It hardly does. That's why you will be challenged why people like Lot will be in Sodom and the good, righteous Lord, does nothing about Sodom, and his good life does not. And do you know that those? Do you know right now? I'm telling you something so amazing that there are those right now whose goodness, your goodness is not going to change anyone if your goodness is not active. So we need to develop active goodness, and I will share that as we teach further. Active goodness. What the word does is the word does what we call active evil. Look at the lady who the lady who cooks. She had been cooking for a long time, and she decided to go bigger to what was it called, the Guinness Book of Record, to compete, to contest or contest to be a record breaker. After which she does that, people saw that act as an act of courage, discipline, heroic act. But eventually, after the season, what do we see next? We see her wearing clothing that does what? Show almost a nakedness. So she has used the platform now to project and advertise and penetrate the culture deeper. So most girls want to be like her. If Hilda can do it this way, I can do it this way. So those of us who believe Jehovah has called us, it's time for you to become the influencer, the active agent in your world. Allow Jehovah, even for those of us ladies, our ladies should not even be those who they dump American dressing on them, who allow Z-word dump their cultures on them, who allow Disney dump their cartoon on us. We allow them teach us or show us how marriage should be. And that's what has been going on all through centuries is this. Do you know most kingdom sisters or sisters don't even know how to culture themselves as it relates to even marriage? Most of our married women don't even know anything about respecting their husband. Not just respecting their husband, they don't know how, biblically, how the home should be. They don't know anything about the home, biblically. They don't even know how to dress biblically. Nor do they know how to talk biblically. Everything about them has been influenced by the world. They become conformed to the world. So they are associated with the world. And John tells us, friendship with the world will make you an enemy of Elohim. Friendship with the world will make you an enemy of Elohim. An associate of the world is an enemy of Elohim. That's what people become. They are not changing the world. They are behaving like the world. We are not called to blend in. We are called to step out. We are called out. Mind you, we said so. We are not called to blend in. We are called to step out. Stepping out doesn't mean you step out and become indifferent. You step out and you're not proactive. Stepping out means you become active. You become what we call countercultural. Meaning I'm going to decide I won't dress like them. I will have a way of dressing that promotes godliness. I will have a way of appearance that promotes godliness. I will have a value system that promotes godliness. So all of these things, once you make up your mind to live this way, mind you, you'll be one good egg among many bad eggs. You are one good apple among many apples. Because people who talk like you, act like you, dress like you, keep the Sabbath like you, keep the feast like you, are few. So what will now determine the energy by which you sustain this new way of seeing as a called out one is that you will now need to find the right associations. If I ask you right now, do you have the associations that inspire you to pray? Do you have associations that inspire you to read more? Do you have the association that inspire you to fast? Do you have the associations around you now that inspire you to write a book? Do you have an association around you that inspire you to prepare a sermon? Do you have association that do our sisters have association that inspire them to be virgins? Do our young men have associations right now that inspire them to be virgins? We're in a culture where we talk abstinence, impossible, get a condom and get a girlfriend. So it's a culture that is pervading society. So even our young people must have that association that inspire them in the subject of virginity. Do you have an association that inspire you to eat clean? Or do you have people just anywhere you go, they eat unclean, you don't even ask them what is this food comprised of, you eat like them. So there's no distinction. There's no uniqueness, there's no standing out. It's easy to blend in when associations are not inspiring. It's so damaging. I wonder how Lot was coping. I just wonder how these guys cope. How did Lot survive Sodom? How did Noah survive? Look at Noah. Noah lived an age of wickedness. How did a righteous, holy Noah survive? A culture where he could not even get any one person saved, except him and his family. See how terrible it is. Noah's evangelism. Oh, I have a vision. There's coming a flood. That is so powerful. That at least, if you hear flood, rain is going to come, sweep the whole world. Something should speak to at least one person to believe Noah's message. With all of Noah's inspiring message, no one person went with Noah. That tells you the culture of the day. That means Noah had no associate that will inspire him in righteousness. Noah had no associate that will inspire him in holiness. And today we have cultures of people, when they have no such inspiration, they draw back into emptiness, unholiness. Why? Nobody inspired me. It's so critical. I want to challenge you this evening by asking you a question. Are you an association worth being with? Are you an association worth being with? It's so critical. It's so important. You ask yourself, are you an association worth being with? When people meet you, what a friend of mine wrote me, we're discussing, and he asked a question, we're chatting. As I was chatting with him, he said, have you been listening to this person? I said, what do you mean? He said, I hear this person in you. I said, yeah, I've been hearing that teaching on my laptop every night. I sleep with it. So I can hear him in you. We've never spoken for years. So I can hear him in you. Do you know when I began to listen to Apostle Arthur, I will hear Arthur back to back, listening back to back the teaching. Before long, I'll be watching Apostle Arthur doing his teaching and then questions, and I see the wisdom of God upon his life, how he responds to question. I say, Father, I can't do that. I can't do it. I can't do a preaching and question. I can't do it because I don't know respect. And no one want to have a service where somebody comes in and throw a question at you. I said, I'm not going to do that. I just preach a sermon and go. But the more I listen to him and see how he does it, the more the same anointing upon him to do it rest upon me. Hear what I'm saying? Association is so powerful. If you listen to the right person and hang around the right person long enough, what makes them the way they are will rest upon you. And that's how it works. I hear back to back YouTube, DVDs, books. There's no other way around it. Now, let me show you something so powerful here that I believe will bless you. Proverbs. Proverbs 13, verse 20. Proverbs 13, 20. Proverbs 13, verse 20. What does it say? What does it say? 13, 20.
The one who walks with the wise will become wise, but a companion of fools will suffer.
Can you imagine that? Are you hearing me, my friend? You hear me? Proverbs 13, 20. Say, he that walketh with wise men shall be wise. Just by the association, he shall be wise. That means if I just gather a collection of Archibald's books, DVDs, CDs, the discipleship training, leadership training, and I begin to associate myself with those materials. The same way association with the wise makes wise, association with those with sound mind will make you sound. This is so powerful. It says the companion of fools. So there are those who are fools. It says the companion of fools shall be destroyed. Fools, those without judgment. A fool is a man or woman without judgment. And do you know if you have no judgment, you won't know. Only wise men can spot fools. A wise man can spot fools. Do you know that foolishness is not the same thing as stupidity? Foolishness is not the same thing as stupidity, but foolish people have act stupid consistently. So if you want to become wise, you must become an associate of wise people. If you're an associate of those who eat up everything they have, no savings. Today, as the Most High will bless you with one bag of rice, that one bag of rice in your mind is now, let's eat and enjoy. But he gave you one bag because why? The next 2 months, he knows that there'll be lack. So Father gives us abundance to prepare us against coming lack, not waste. So you need associates of people who will train you in the area of wisdom. How about in the area of investment? I don't have enough money to invest. I don't have enough money to invest. Who told you that? You can start small. It's cold out there. I can't wake up. There are those who just sleep and sleep and sleep and wake up 10 a.m. That's when they wake up 10 a.m. Why are you waking up? There's no work to do now. There's no work to do. I can't do that work. Give and was that work is too difficult. Okay, do this one. That work is too hectic. Give it that work is not. They will make all the excuses. And if you make such people your associates, man, you'll be poor like them. Are we together? association of do you know on Facebooks now there are different groups. They are association of lovers of polygamy. The association of divorce your husband or your wife if the associations where you may not know people join the association, it twists their mind. If your husband do this thing, just leave him. If your wife, for long, as you join them, they are talking those their nonsense. You said no, but this is not. As you keep hearing this wrong people talk, before long, your conscience will now begin to absorb that. Okay, maybe. I'm telling you, if you are in the even in the hip, that even Apostle Arthur was sharing something right now with me. Yeah, tell us.
All private quotations to support the they will give up Bible quotations to support. And many others, you can see some that promote fornication in the sense that there's this one that's called Hebrews dating platform or Hebrews dating group. And you think it's it's just Hebrews dating group.
Yeah.
As I was initially not understand who wrote about it.
Yeah.
Each two by and to carefully do on it and know what is going to
Thank you. Now, there's a group I was discussing with someone about. This group online. It's a women's group. The women here were discussing that if somebody said, if Holy Spirit help me, that's so. Yeah, the ground for divorce. They're discussing about divorce, and the ground was on sexual satisfaction. And a woman who is supposedly sounded religious made a statement in the group. She said, life is only once, that she's not going to condole a man who cannot satisfy her sexually. And she began to give, and somebody now said, but how about thou shalt not commit adultery? He said, how about those who committed, did God kill them? There are those, some people commit it and they get away with it. So, before long, one other woman started asking, I was like, what is true? How about the Old Testament? And where did God go? These people seems to have voice, because once you question this error, they begin to raise voices. And before long, one other woman who is just a simple person, began to now ask her questions. And I realized that she seems to, she stole the show. One other woman answered, okay, she said she will commit adultery if not, she said, if not. Do you know there are groups you can belong to? Young man will not be holy. They will tell you God's grace and God still loves you. Before long, they will wash you off the fear of God. Which hellfire? How many people have you seen? One evangelist, before I get started, went to Owerri to preach. As he was preaching, he now said, hellfire. He was preaching on hellfire. He now said to the congregation that hell is real. The pastor now stepped out and said, this hellfire. Do you know that these Christians who they go to hellfire? He said, how come that no Muslim has ever said, no Christian had gone to hellfire and said they saw a Muslim there? Have you ever think about it? So it is no Muslim. They've only seen one pastor. They've not seen one as. So, but then if we are called to convert the Muslim, how come nobody have ever seen them in the fire? So by so doing, such statements has a way of now making people feel, okay, let's just let go. If God is love, we don't know how God will judge. That should not judge. If you're judging, you are doing. There's people you associate with. They will just water down your zeal towards righteousness. Why? They will just make you feel it's not important. This is Old Testament. This is not important. God is not like that now. You think we came here by this thing you are doing. This thing you are doing, they will water it down. Sister, you want to be holy. Holy. I was speaking with a woman some time ago. She was a widow pastor. She's a pastor woman, a widow. She said to me, almost as the day the husband died, the husband's friend touched her hands and shook her. So I'll take care of you. And the husband's closest friend said that to her, and the man was a pastor. The husband's friend was a pastor. She said, over 50 pastors have met me, disturbing me about adultery, sleeping with them, and they were all married. And each time she challenges that position, she's shocked that these men of God will say, why are you a child? Are you a small girl? Hear what I'm saying, saints. See how it goes. And these pastors have associations. Think of you being a man who will serve the Lord. You think they are pastors, and you now join the associations of pastors. By the time you're out of that place, you lose the sense of God's judgment, morality, ethics, and value. Everything became anyhow. And that's what this fundraising became. That's how fundraising spread into all Christian ministries. One person brought a fundraiser who came on the pulpit, raised money so well. And then before long, other pastors began to adopt the fundraising system. And this is how it begins. You don't become a bad pastor by accident. You become a bad pastor by association. You don't become a bad wife by mistake. You become a bad wife by association. You don't become a bad husband by accident. You become a bad husband by association. Association of beer drinkers. Associations of tombo drinkers. Association of night walking. 11 p.m. you're still outside. To you, 11 p.m. you are still seeing daylight. Why? The association that you work with this association so well, it is now part of you. Association is so powerful. Do you know why many believers don't have spiritual energy? It is this thing called association that has drained our energy. In conclusion, your biggest problem as a person is to be married to a person who is a wrong influence over you. And I'm going to speak to us here on the issue of association. Somebody wrote me. I was asking a question because actually there's a teaching Apostle did on marriage and remarriage, and the subject of remarrying, and she wanted to know our position, if Atos's position on remarrying has changed. I said it's still the same thing. That marriage is a covenant. That you are. Now this is so powerful because it's one thing many of us don't know about what marriage is, because society doesn't even know what marriage is in the first place. And if many of us have a chance to begin again and we saw marriage as a covenant association of a lifetime, I think would have made better, would have been more slower in making that decision. Except your union is for procreation, and there's no problem. But typically, association with someone for a lifetime, why would you want to be joined to someone for a lifetime when you don't even know the person? They can't even discuss wisdom with you. They can't even inspire you towards God. That tells you that even the rate of divorces we have today shows how poor we are in association. Let me tell you something. There are 50 years marriage anniversary going on right now, and the man knows nothing about the woman, and the woman knows nothing about the man. They've just had children together. They are procreating. They know nothing. They're just managing themselves. There are homes right now where the man is on phone like this, the wife is on phone like that. The girl is busy talking to her ex-boyfriend and laughing to the husband. Darling, I'm coming. And she's chatting with the old boyfriend. Yet, why did you forge that association? You don't even why did you form association with the person you're not going to be with? It means we don't take association seriously. We make friends and lightly and bring them home. Is my friend. For me, one of the gifts Jehovah gave to me and helped me is the gift of how to stay alone. Staying alone has helped me so much. Why? For me, my fear is that I meet a lot of fake people, even pastors. Meet a pastor, the next thing is calling an apostle and help me with 5,000 naira. I want to help me with them. Before long, you find people are just people even want association to get. You now get you tired. Pastor, apostle, I had a dream now. In that dream, I saw you. If you sow a seed of this, if you give this, they want to get from you. They want to get your time. They want to get it. So sometimes it's not hard to tell which one is genuine. Why? You are just looking at people talk, and then sometimes it's hard for me to even pick phone calls. Why? I don't know what this person really wants. I wish I could have said. So the association you are part of, saints, will define your destiny. Hear me. Your destiny is not an accident. Your destiny is not in the hands of God. If you've ever been told that your destiny is tied to the decisions you make in the issues of what? Association. Let me prove it and I will pray. Let's turn to hmm, 1 Samuel 18, verse 1. 18:1.
The book of First Samuel, chapter 18, and verse 1. When they had finished speaking with Saul, Jonathan was bound to David in close friendship and loved him as much as he loved himself.
Go ahead, sir.
Verse 2. Saul kept David with him from that day on and did not let him return to his father's house. Jonathan made a covenant with David because he loved him as much as himself. Then Jonathan removed the robe he was wearing that David gave, along with his military tunic, his sword, his bow, and his belt.
Thank you. Now, so powerful. Look at this story of David and Jonathan. So it's about companionship. And at the root of Jonathan's connection to David was the spirit of connectivity. Yes. You must know people that connect with your destiny. And many times you will know them through speech. Then I've heard, when I heard someone like Arthur preach, and I'm listening to Arthur preaching, I'm like, this, I'm like, the stature, the way, everything about him just speaks of what I want. You know, the stature, the commitment, the faith, the generosity, the wisdom, the delivery. We have Hebrew Roots University. We have Arthur Bailey's. We have the app. We have the website. We have the training. We have the discipleship training program, leadership, the DVDs and teachings. I'm like, wow, he speaks to something in me. because I'm driven into the same thing, education. I want to produce materials, document. I see in him something that speaks to me. And that's the only way you make relationship. You know people who belong in your life by what speaks out of their life. I don't know how you became friends with an idol worshiper, with a drinker, with a drunkard. How you find comfort bringing somebody home who has no direction and says, "My friend, we are playing video game together." I don't know how you became friends with such a person. I don't know how a friend, a lady who is brought up well at home, will become friends with a prostitute. Say she's my roommate. How did a prostitute who is your roommate become a friend to you, sister, who was brought up in a godly home and values? How did they? That means there's something dumb about the person. I'm really, really surprised because I'm not going to be a friend with someone whose life does not speak the language my inner man wants to listen to. And that's how they draw you into problems. You are hanging out with people whose life is not speaking diligence, excellence, creativity, discipline, God-fearing, virtues, and then you are comfortable with them. What are you discussing? We're discussing thing. We are discussing. They sent you out on an errand, and you're hanging out discussing fingernail, how to shine fingernail with a sister who has no direction for the past 2 hours. We're discussing and we've on how to put the one, which one is the latest one? Latest we've on. They now mount it. They now gum it down. They mount it. they now ahead of the lady who went to put bomb for 10 million. 10 million, man. 10 million. Fake breast, fake everything. And this becomes those you are hanging around with. You know, it's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be. You must know yourself in the first place. They mount it. Even the eyelashes. This thing began with this one here. That's where it began. I was wondering how ladies who were given free of charge will now scrape it. I've been using, is it Tiro they use? They scrape this one, they scrape this thing off. This one is not okay for them. The pencil. Yeah, now that's association. So if you hang around those ones, you know your destiny is already showing. So destiny will not be. Once you hang around those people, your destiny is already speaking. You see? Key. So when Jonathan heard David speaking, there was something about David that spoke into Jonathan. He was wondering how a young man of 16 can run into a giant. This is what I've been longing to do. This is something I've been hungry. This is my hunger, but I've been stuck with this man called Saul. Do you know sometimes the key that helps you know who you are born to associate with is that there will be a step ahead of you doing something you want to do. You've found out that they have written a book with a title you have wanted to write about. They have preached a sermon that you have been thinking of preaching about. And so when you hear that sermon, it draws to them. So someone whose life is not writing, speaking, doing something you want to become or do does not belong in your journey. So when Jonathan heard David speaking, he says, his soul was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. Hey, this is how you know who belongs to you. They will inspire something about you. Look at verse 2. And Saul took him that day and would let him go no more home to his father's house. Verse 3. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own. They entered into a deeper place of association. I belong with you in this journey of destiny. Why are people making marital covenant with people who are not yoked with them? And that's a problem here in marriage. In marriage, people are entering into a covenant of marriage with a person not yoked with them in faith, yoked with them in assignments. So what are you busy doing together? Having sex. You think marriage is all about sex, young people? And I get married. Hey, we have sex every day, have sex every day, have sex every night. See, if you marry a person with a vision, driven to accomplish a vision, and you're thinking of sex every day, every night, do you know people who think of sex every day, every night can do well by marrying these idle boys? Because why? You're not going to be able to have sex every day, every night if your wife is going to be an accomplisher who is going to be, if she's not going to be all the time there for you. So it is lazy people and idle people who think of, oh, sex every day, sex every night. So if you now join a person who is thinking of that with an innovative person, they'll have issue in their marriage. Are we together? So if you're going somewhere, don't join yourself with somebody going nowhere. If you're going somewhere, don't join yourself with a person going nowhere. So David and Jonathan goes deeper and they made covenants because both of them were connected in spirit. Verse 4, Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him and gave it to David, and his garments, even his sword, and his bow, and his girdle. Why did he do that? Why do you think he gave him all? Everything. Jonathan, yes, it says in verse 4, Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him. He gave it to David, and his garments, even his sword, and his bow, and his girdle, he gave it to David. I feel that just like someone that you just see and the spirits works together. I feel that he saw something in David. And then he just like associates one and the other. So he saw him as someone that can learn things, can achieve, as someone that can embrace. Basically become a friend or not. So you see my person that can keep as a friend, so this person is not. So I let myself Hallelujah. Now, so he saw something powerful about David, and that made him release himself to David. Yeah. David was just a shepherd. So what Jonathan was saying, this person is beyond what I have. So let's have all this that I have. And this, my position, is not even to me, my position is it's not someone to what is in the boy. So let's say just pass on. It felt like maybe it's just pass on the whole position. Amen. Now, that's a very powerful observation we've made. Now, let me drop my observation why David stripped himself. And that's a key word there, stripped himself. Stripped himself. That's a key word, to strip yourself. There have been those in your life who, even though you're speaking to them, you speak with caution. Because why? You still feel, am I safe in their presence? Will they backstab me? Can I trust them? Do I believe in them? And many times Even in marriage, do you know in marriage, people don't strip themselves. You're married to somebody who has not stripped themselves. They have information they will not share with you. Except problem happens in the home, they will not bring it out. Is a man who is married and has concubine out there, has people, he has different issues out there, but you're not aware, but you're married to him, you've been married for the past 20 something years. Why? They've not stripped themselves. Why? People do not strip themselves when they fear judgment. They fear condemnation. They fear if they strip themselves to you, you will use the information against them. Whichever reason, or they may not strip themselves why they are not safe in your presence. So the place where Jonathan goes and being to strip himself to David tells you that when Most High connect you with the right companionship who belongs to destiny, your stripping they will not take advantage of your stripping. They won't take advantage of you. If you ever make the mistake to strip yourself before the wrong people, wrong association, they will use those clothing you gave and lie against you and take it to the media. See, he was the one that did this. Lie against you in the social media world. People don't strip themselves. Why? Pastor don't strip themselves to members. Okay, bring a member home, come and see how we live, blah, blah, blah. And then now pastors now do distance. Member, bye-bye. Why? Why did they do that? Fear of what stripping a little. So you see this issue now. But do you know that our biggest prayer should be that Most High will connect you with the right companions? Do you know the right companions, if you strip yourself, they see your nakedness, they will clothe you. They will not make it a sermon. They will not use it to, even though you falter, they seem to have been there before. There are things you do have been there before. Why? It is not now reason to do condemn or say anything. It's really not to improve or impact or deliver or whatever. So what it does is when you are in the right companionship, your stripping is not an element for your condemnation. It becomes the doorway for improvement or correction, to be guidance, to be imputed in your life. So when Jonathan strips himself to David, the king's son, to a shepherd boy, that tells you something so strong. It tells also something so powerful. Do you know that those who will eventually clothe you, bless you, lift you, are the genuine companionship who you strip yourself to? You strip yourself to them and they see your need to help you. They see a need to not support you. There have been those Father has given us as partners who I can say, okay, I can say, okay, you know what? I have a challenge at home. Maybe my baby needs milk to drink, or we need Gary to drink. And they won't say, Pastor, why are you asking us this? So the associations you make that you know, if I strip myself to them, it will become an instrument for condemnation or rejection. It becomes a doorway to favor. But it won't happen just for anybody. It will happen because you are speaking that to the right companions, the right associates. A big prayer you will pray for yourself is this: Father, connect me with the right associates. Don't just gather people around and say, I have 10 friends. I saw a picture on Facebook of a man who has 10,000 Facebook followers doing his burial. Doing his burial. A woman showed up and said, and so nobody came for his burial. And he told the one asked the husband, but I thought he had 10,000 followers. That means you can have 10,000 followers on Facebook, but they are not your associates. You see how this is work. Jonathan found in David a companion and an associate. May you find your companion today, and may you find your associate in Yeshua's name. And let's look at this verse. Let me show you something interesting here too. Let's see verse 20. Or chapter 20. 1 Samuel 20. Okay, let me see. Now let's see verse 14. 1 Samuel 20, 14. 1 Samuel 20, verse 14.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 20, verse 14. If I continue to live, show me kindness in your heart. But if I die, ever withdraw your kindness in my household. Not even when you are caught everyone of this enemy on the face of the earth.
Go ahead.
Verse 16. Then Jonathan led someone to the house of David, saying, may your back hold David's enemies accountable. Jonathan once again spoke to David in his love for him because he loved him as he loved himself. Verse 18. Then Jonathan said to him, tomorrow is a new moon. You will meet because your seat will be empty. Verse 19. The following day, hurry down and go to the place where you hide. Here you hide on the day this incident began and stay beside the rock of Israel. I will shoot 3 arrows beside it as if I am aiming at the target. Then I will tell the servant and say, go and find the arrows. Now, if I expressly say to the servant, look, the arrows are on this side of you, get them. Then come, because your heart is. If it is safe for you, and there is no problem. But if I say this to you, look, arrows are beyond you, then go, for your father telling you away. As for the matter that you and I have to God, your father will tell you of forever. So David being in the countryside, as he knew he sat down into the
Amen. So now we see that the right association will be protective of you. See what happens. Now, he took side for Jonathan against his father. This guy called Jonathan seems to have this ability to connect with destiny. He was more destiny connected. So he tried to protect David from being harmed by his father. So he gives him the signals of what to look out for to show that this is really, 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 my father has a plan against you. Eventually, afterward, they covered up for David. When they met to eat at the table, the father asked Jonathan, where is David? The first time, he told him, hey, David is sick. Second time, the third time, Saul throws a javelin at Jonathan. Say, you fool. Saul threw a javelin at Jonathan to pin him down, to kill his own son. Because he wanted to kill David. Now he transfers that spirit of murder to Jonathan, his own son. So Saul was not living for Jonathan. Saul was living for the agenda of Satan at this point now. Because he wanted to take out David, Jehovah's man, and now we see him stretch that aggression to even kill his own son. That means Saul was not sentimental, emotional about these two people. It was just about evil. So Jonathan knew that the right association God gives me, I should protect, I should promote, I should invest. And this is how you know those who belong to you. They will always seek means to protect you, to promote you, to bless you. They won't talk you down. But sadly, something happens. Hmm. So powerful. Let's help me 1 Samuel 23, verse 17. Now, if you're watching this broadcast, we really appreciate you taking time to join us this evening. May God bless you as you continue with us in this teaching. And let's read 1 Samuel 23, verse 17.
The book of 1 Samuel chapter 23, verse 17. Saying, don't be afraid, my father Saul will never lay a hand on you. You yourself will be king over Israel, and I will be the second in command. Even my father Saul knows it.
Amen. Look at it. This is he's a king's son. So naturally, Jonathan should aspire for the throne while he's a king's son. So why is Jonathan stepping back? Why is Jonathan? And that's what angered Saul. Why are you stepping back for this boy? What did you see? What did you see? I'm the king. You're my son. You're the next. You're the next. You're the next for this throne. Now, what is it about you that you're just saying everything is now David, David, David? He now tells David himself, "You will be king." There was nothing sparkling in the sky that made this. He knew it in his spirit. Say, you be king, and what will happen? I will be what? I will be second in command. Was he right? No, he didn't promise him. He was going to make him the head in his home, meaning he was telling David that if you win from your family lineage, this is what we'll give to those in your family. Promotion, blessing, will give you lands, will give you women, marriage. And so he was making promises to David. But I think you're talking about half of his, giving him half of his kingdom. Is that what you mean? Yeah, so that does not mean he will take the throne or his next in command. He just gave him the reward for the victory would be a place of position and influence that he will get as a reward. So yeah, so there's no way, not even prime minister, for the reward for who destroys the Philistine is this: in your home, no more tax. You won't pay tax anymore. You'll be free from taxation. You get a wife. You get so many blessings will come from that as a reward. But when it comes to the throne, naturally speaking, we should look at Jonathan after Saul, Jonathan. But Jonathan steps back because why? He perceived this guy and I are connected, and he is going to be ahead of me, and I will be with him. But where I'm going is this: that Jonathan told David that you'll be king, and I'll be next. Next, did you read that place? Shall be next in command. So now look at that scenario. Was he right? Was he prophesying? What was he saying? At the long run, one of the word came to pass that eventually, as Jonathan said, David became king, but he never became next in command. So what went wrong? Now, how did he know? Because there's no natural reason why he would know. Naturally speaking, everything proved that Jonathan will be next. But here this young man says, "You be king of the next in command." The first word comes to pass. He is king. David becomes king, but Jonathan does not become the next in command. Why? And that's where I bring this teaching to a close. It's a very powerful statement. And I said, your destiny is linked with your associates. Now, when he knew that David would be king, he began to act in such a way that he tilted towards God's purpose in David. And that's why he was trying to preserve David. But there was one mistake Jonathan made. The battle against the Philistine was a battle he should not have gone with Saul into. Sometimes many of us are so connected to certain people. I love him so much. I love her so much. I love that place so much. You are so connected. If people are in disobedience to God, sister, brother, don't love them more than God. If a leader is in disobedience to God, don't follow him more than God. Don't say I'm a die-hard follower of that pastor. Anywhere he goes, I will go. If he's not going the way of Jehovah, you can step back. Now, Jonathan sees his father going against Jehovah, but he's between two opinions. I belong to David, I belong to Saul. And that's our problem most times. In a conflict of associates, there are those who feel I belong to. Some of us are here. You feel I belong in the house of Israel, but I still belong somewhere. I belong to the house of Israel, but I still belong somewhere else. And that's the same issue Jonathan faced. He belongs with David, but he still belongs with Saul. Yeshua says, those who are my brother are those who do the will of God. There's no negotiation about who belongs to me. My associations are those who do the will of Jehovah. Simple. Those who keep the Sabbath holy, those who keep Jehovah's commandments. These are my relationship. These are my associations. Now, Jonathan goes to war with Saul. What happened? The Philistine killed Saul. And he did what? Killed. When David heard this, he could not believe. He was, you mean Joe? He said, you mean Joe? No, he said Jonathan. Don't tell me. The word has come forth. I'll be king. He'll be next in command. How would he die? How would you die? I knew he'll be next in command. I was prepared. Do you know what great force? Think of a kingdom ruled by Jonathan. And think of Israel led by these two men. The devil knew. The devil knew all along what Israel would have been if they were led by these two young men. The brightness of mind leading Israel. David and Jonathan leading Israel. Man, this would have been the most profound leadership in history. But the enemy removed Jonathan. That is a problem. It's hard. He's standing in the father he loves. Your children will stand with you. But when she finds love, she will not have two people to stand. Do you know what sons go through? To stand with their wife and their mother. The news we are talking about the young lady that got pregnant, and also the family had to advise her to go to join this child trafficking. Okay. So this girl has to carry the baby down to that place just to make money. At the end of the day, she make money because police just went to that investigation. So they want that they have family. So now this girl is coming, exposing the family that what happened to that place. So, but I think she said no to her mom, or no to that. It wouldn't be like this for her. So sometimes you just stand, you can make a decision and back your parents. Just as long as you know that the end of it is right.
I cannot make a decision for this trip. Who said that this is your decision? Fine.
Yeah.
So that's you know that it's wrong. If they don't think you are trying to but if you think I make a decision and see and this is when the Lord was coming here, I was Sunday worshiper. I was going to church on Sunday and she came in. I started just for finding out the right thing for her. People that money this day, I think that where they are, not the wrong place. But she said something like that, and she was like, I think that this time. But your parents can say, no, you can't join that. Wash my which is not found in the family. Everybody is over by Sunday worship. When I expect you to shut down your parents, I thought I was going to the right way.
Thank you, ma'am. You've said well, and most times it's difficult for certain people to make. It's difficult, even in marriage, the same way. Your husband is not serving the Lord, and let's not go too far. They are even in dating. Who I say they are dating. You are with a young man who is molesting and beating you. And you say, I love him, you can't leave. There are girls right now who have been, even in marriage, the woman have been bulldozed with punches and beaten and killed. Why? I love him too much to walk away. I love him too much to believe he will change. One day he will change. You are being buffet, but you are covering it for him, not just for him. The singer who died. We're told the husband killed her, but she was covering up for him, believing it will change, believing Saul will change. That person, it is you that it is the person. I'm not talking about. Saul is not our problem here. Jonathan is the problem we have here. It is not who we're expecting to change. It is not who we're expecting to change. It's also who is expecting them, not knowing where we belong. The key is for each of us to know where we belong, who we belong to. Because why? If you belong to the person of your destiny, who is connected with the dreams of God in you, with your purpose, with your calling, with your uniqueness, with your dream. The major issue that people are entering covenant, even in marriage, with people not connected. They are unequally yoked with the wrong people. And so that's what we're talking about: friendship, marriage, business. People are yoked in the wrong business. And that's why they are dying like Jonathan, we saw, in the wrong places, wrong battle. The young man's future belongs with David. But he's going to deal with emotion. What would daddy say? What people say if I leave and not be there? It was how come people now say he was not with his father the day he was died? So culture makes up things. So sometimes we fear what people will say, and we stay in the past because why? We are afraid if I leave, the wrong go in our culture. Sons don't leave their father. Sons more. So there are cultures where even sons are doing things the culture says they should do it. What I'm saying is this: you must be bold to be where you are because God wants you there. Do what you are doing because why? It's your purpose. Be with David, even if it costs you so. And that's what it is all about. It's a hard place to be. But if you start from today, choosing your associations wisely, you stand a chance of really making it through life successfully. So what I have done is this, simple. What I've done is this. When it comes to relationship, it's hard to make new friends now because for me, new friends would mean they share the faith, they keep the Sabbath, they keep God's command. Even for me, preaching is off. To be a guest preacher somewhere, those days when I was in charismatic, I only been in a ministry for so long. I have an invitation, my posters at different places preaching, but now you can't even invite me to come preach. Normal Christian churches. They love my teachings. Most of them say, I love your teaching. Pastor, this will say, watch me and say, I love your teaching, but they can't invite me. And they can't invite me. Not say I can't go there. Because what I will go with, I won't go and I'll talk is, I will go with what I am. So they can be talking there, but I'll go with what I am. So now you are not narrow. It's better you become narrow in life. Quickly find yourself and find who you belong to and who you belong with. And that will play a major role in you discovering your destiny in Yeshua's name. Father, I will thank you for your word going forth. I pray for those who have made bad choices in companionship, for those who have stripped themselves to the wrong people. They've poured out their hearts and emotion. They poured out their feelings. They poured out their secrets to the wrong people. And these people have used these things against them. I pray you will help them and heal them from this wound and pain. I pray for those right now who, like Jonathan, are scared to walk away from Saul. They are fighting in a battle with the Philistines. They don't belong. I pray that many of us will develop the courage and the confidence to walk away from people whose hatred towards God is affecting your love for God. That as you make up your mind to serve the Most High, that person in your life who is making you, drawing you back, pulling you back, not encouraging you, not inspiring you, that you have the boldness to confront them and say, see, here's where I'm going. You are either in or out. Help us become active and proactive in confronting the things that weakens us. Oh, I want to pray more, but sister, you keep making me feel distracted. I pray for associations right now that is diminishing the God in us, that is not allowing us go far. I pray, Father, you will deliver us from such associations. I pray you put your fire in us again, your zeal, your inspiration, the things we have lost because of the wrong people, whose negative energy has weakened us and made us lose our dreams and focus on our inspirations. I pray Most High will help us and show us mercy. Pray for someone right now who you've been praying for the right association, that Father will bring somebody into your life again that will be a source of hope and encouragement and strength and vitality and hope in you one more time. So you can dream and live the life Jehovah has in store for you. Thank you, Most High, for answering our prayers today. In Yeshua's mighty name we pray. Amen. So today, tomorrow, 5 a.m., we'll be meeting here in the morning for the second day of our prayer, early morning prayers. Please come with expectation and come that these 30 days, make that heart covenant with Jehovah, that these 30 days I will commit to Jehovah, and I will, at the end of these 30 days, I will have a testimony, something Jehovah will do in my life. There's something about this early morning prayer. It says, early would I seek you, early would I seek you. And that's been a system and part of Jehovah's people. They sought him early. And so as you begin to pour out your heart early and seeking Jehovah, mind you, our hope is in him. And it is from him we receive reward and we receive our blessings. So please, I want to encourage families to please come around. Let's pray. So Brother Chukwemeka is with us online. We have Brother George, we have Brother Charles, we have Brother Israel Bradley, we have Brother Daniel. And I will thank all of you for being here today. And I pray the Most I will encourage you and bless you in Yeshua's mighty name. Pray. Amen. So if you have an offering to give to Jehovah, now for those who are watching, the ways to give to House of Israel, you can give through PayPal and give through Cash App. The address is on the screen. And for those who are watching from Lagos or from Nigeria, you can also give through Fidelity Bank account, which will be displayed on the screen now, displaying the address on your screen. And this is the address you can transfer your offerings and tithes to, and also through our PayPal and Cash App. As you do, the Most I bless you. Now we have 3 projects we are believing you're about to accomplish this year. We want to interlock this place because of the ground is having an issue with the water and everything. So we're trusting you for an interlocking work, and also want to do the outdoor painting of this building and then to complete the international guest house. So we want families to support us one way or the other. You can support through finance. When the project starts, you can support through your labor. And one way, one how, find a way you can support us to accomplish these 3 projects. And if you're watching online and you want to support us towards this project, I pray you do so. As you do, your God bless you in Yeshua's name. So I'm going to put up a video on the project. So if you're watching, please just pay close attention. So you don't have this to stream it live, but we'll do that.
Shalom to the friends, partners, and supporters of the Kingdom Legacy Project. Saint, we need your help at this moment. We have been experiencing flooding at the Kingdom Legacy Project. As a result, this has created a restraint in movement. And the way out is for us at this point to interlock the whole ground at the Kingdom Legacy Project. And this is a picture of what we have been facing and also a picture of what we want to accomplish. Would you help us by sending a donation of $10,000 to enable us complete this project? Now, the $10,000 donation does not only cover the challenge with the interlocking, we also want to complete the outdoor painting of the Kingdom Legacy Project Sanctuary. In order to maintain the durability of the building, we have to interlock at this moment. And also, there's one more thing before us. We want to deck the International Guest House. With the travel ban lifted from COVID, our international partners can now travel down to Port Harcourt to be a part with us in our missionary expedition and our campaigns around Port Harcourt and globally. So, Saints, we call upon you at this crucial junction to support us through prayers and through giving. Don't forget, with $10,000 we can complete the interlocking, the outdoor painting, and the decking of the International Guest House. So our guests can now move in and live in the guest house when they arrive into Nigeria. And also during the feast days, people around the world who want to come into Port Harcourt can have a place of shelter. We rely on Yehovah, his generosity and his help flowing to our partners and supporters to help us accomplish these desires of our hearts. As you do, may Yehovah bless you and keep you. Cause his face to shine upon